George for Talk of the Town. We are here at the Blues and Brews Festival, the 16th annual at Nashoba Valley Ski Area in Westford with Pam Fletcher. So tell us what's going on today.
Well, it's simple, George. There's brews, there's blues, and lots of fun here at Nashoba Valley Ski Area. I'll tell you what, it's every year the entertainment blows my mind. This year's lineup, even better than the last. And if you haven't been to Blues and Brews at Nashoba Valley Ski Area, you should get on down here because it's a lot of fun.
So we are here and we talked to some of the brewers, some of the bands, so we're going to show you all the highlights on this very special edition of Talk of the Town.
ActonTV was on hand to cover the 16th annual Blues and Brews Festival to benefit the Westford Rotary Foundation at Nashoba Valley Ski Area in Westford. Pam Fletcher caught up with John Flanagan, one of the organizers of the event.
I'm with John Flanagan, and John, you have a lot to do with putting together the beer crafters that are here.
That's
for
right.
all the brewers.
That's right.
Explain the difference between the 2 days at Blues and Brews.
Sure, yeah. So I'm on the brew side, and it's a 2-day festival now. So what we did on day one is made that more of a national and regional side of the festival, and we partnered with Merrimack Distributing out of Danvers, and they come in and it's all of the breweries that they represent. And we've had breweries as far away as Chicago and California actually as well. So more of the regional. Today is what I call a hyper-local event. So these are going to be breweries that were within, like a 30-mile radius of Westford. And some of these guys are just starting out. So some of these breweries are less than a year old to a year old. So, and some of these are well established as well. But it's I like to say hyper-local. And whereas yesterday, a lot of those are beer representatives. Today, you get a chance to meet a couple of the head brewers. So, for example, Dave from Flying Dreams is here. He's the brewer for Flying Dreams. So,
we're going to have to talk with him for sure. One of the things I find interesting about this is that every year I come, I find and experience a new brew or, a new tasting like sparkling cider or something like that. It's amazing to me how exciting it is for all of these guys to be here and how crazy it is that a lot of us never knew they existed.
That's exactly right. And that's why they like to come to these kind of events. It's a new demographic for them because you got folks that come here for the blues music, and that's not what they're used to in terms of their demographics. So it's a great new set of customers for them. They get a chance for them to market their beer and talk about what they're doing, and not just beers. I mean, yesterday we had sangria, we had wine in a can called Man Can. We had 3 ciders yesterday. We got Bantam back again today. So it's it's quite a wide range of different things you can. I like to say fun drinks. So.
And exciting for people to experience something like that for the first time. And I think there's going to be a lot of longtime customers because, the other thing about this event is that the crafters that are here and the people that are talking about their brews, they're really knowledgeable and they are very friendly with our customers.
Absolutely. I mean, they're trying to gain more customers. They're trying to tell that customer about the beverage that they're creating and why they might like it and where they can get it. If they like it, like, hey, where can I find this? And they can tell them where to go get that locally. So that's a big part of what they're doing. And at the same time, money's going to charity for the Westford Rotary Club. So it's a win-win situation for us and the brewers.
Well, we're excited that they're all here, and we're going to go sample some of these brews at Blues and Brews in Nashoba.
We are here at the Blues and Brews at Nashoba Valley Ski Area in Westford with Muse of Mayflower Brewery. Tell us what we have here today.
Well, today we're pouring 3 beers. We've got New World here, which is one of our newer beers. It's an American IPA, really bright and hop forward without being super bitter. Really awesome drinking. Then we've got our Golden Ale, which is a nice light, easy drinking ale, 4.5%. And then we've got a nice double IPA called Evolupulin. It's an evolving or a rotating double IPA. Comes out. It's basically a new recipe every month or so.
And what do you think about this event, just raising money for the Westford Charity Foundation and just the great music?
Yeah, it's a great environment. It's very casual, laid back. There's plenty of vendors. It seems like everybody's having a good time. The music's always awesome. I was here last year helping, and just some really talented musicians. So it's good for a great cause, and we're happy to be here.
So I like kind of a light beer. I think we should do a sample, don't you?
I agree, yeah. It depends on what you like. We got a really nice light beer called Golden Ale. There's not much left in the can, but I'm happy to give you a little taster.
Okay. A little taste is better than no taste, folks. Cheers. That's really good.
Like it.
If people want more information about Mayflower, where can they find it?
They can go to mayflowerbrewing.com. Tells all the information about the beers. It tells a little bit of history of the company, some of the staff members that are on in the company, and out there spreading the good word about craft beer.
Excellent. So make sure you check out their website. We'll be back with more coverage of the Blues and Brews.
I'm with David Richardson from Flying Dreams Brewing Company, and I love the name right off the bat. How did you come up with that?
So it's a combination of a few things. I think the most obvious one and cliche is that since I started brewing professionally in 2003, I had the dream to start my own place. And so this is my dream taking flight, so to speak. But the other two, as a kid, I actually had lots of dreams of flying. I would like wake up and think I could fly.
I have had those myself.
Yeah, they're amazing. It's like the best dream.
Yeah.
There's no dream that beats a flying dream.
You want to, like, if you wake up, you want to jump right back in the dream.
I actually, the first time I had one that I can remember, I jumped off the stairs in my parents' house.
Wow.
And fell all the way down the stairs.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
one of my earliest childhood memories, you know. You don't remember things unless they're traumatic when you're like 4 years old, and I remember falling down the stairs. But anyways, the other is that I'm an avid disc golfer.
Nice.
And when you throw that disc just right and it soars through the air the way you intended it to, it's a dream in flight as well. And actually on our logo over here, there's a disc golf basket on all of our logos. So it's kind of like an ode to my disc golfing community.
So very cool. So very cool.
Yeah.
Now, as a crafter, tell us a little bit about what we're going to try here.
So you're trying the Smoke Show Brown Ale, and that is an American brown ale with some cherry wood smoked malt added. So
Wow.
there's lots
Smooth.
of layers of flavor. It's very smooth. It's going to have dark flavors like molasses and cocoa and toffee. And then it's got that layer of cherry wood smoked malt, which is just that mild, smoky flavor that almost gives you a hint of the cherries from the cherry wood. It's pretty incredible.
How do you come up with these flavors?
Well, I mean, I think with like that artistic side of brewing is like being a chef. You know, after many, many years of doing it, you just sort of start to get a sense for what's good and what goes together. And, you know, there's the whole science of it. And, you know, being able to repeat things and being able to brew consistently and being clean and, you know, and keeping everything microbiologically stable and all that. But the art to it of creating recipes is like being a chef.
That's awesome. Now, what do you have in your hand?
I have the Pond Jumper IPA. That's our, what I like to call a New England style IPA with a West Coast kick. So New England style IPAs tend to be very juicy and tropical, but they tend to have a soft finish. And the West Coast IPAs tend to be more subdued in the aroma, but have a real bite, like a bitter bite in the end. My favorite style IPA is that aromatic, juicy one, but that still has the bite to kind of like bring everything together in the end. So that's what this is.
Now, as a crafter and a brewer, tell me a little bit about how important it is to be at something like Blues and Brews at Nashoba Valley Ski Area.
Oh, this is amazing. I mean, we've now been brewing in Worcester for 1 year and 10 months. And people still haven't heard of us. You know, at this scale, it's not like we can afford to advertise, right?
We've had people skiing here in the Nashoba Valley Ski Area for years and years and years, and there's people that live in Westford that don't know we exist.
It's the same thing. When you're a small company, you rely on word of mouth. And so this is exactly the kind of festival you want to go to. People are going, I've never heard of you. Oh my God, the beer is amazing. Where can I find you? How can I get to your brewery? Are you in local liquor stores? Are you in local establishments? People are really all about local beer these days, and this is exactly the kind of festival we love doing.
Well, I'm going to find you because this is delicious.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Oh, so good.
We're talking to Ray Schiavone here at Bantam. Is it brewery or is it
Cidery.
cidery? And they make cider, which is actually, if anyone knows me, is my favorite. Tell us a little bit how the company was started.
Company started several years ago by two young ladies who decided to leave their corporate jobs and start something on their own. They liked cider and decided they wanted to make a career out of brewing cider.
And just being based out of Somerville, what's it like just building a base here in New England?
Right now, that's it. Right, New England. They're very predominant here in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, but I expect with the quality of the product will be distributed nationally.
And there's so many ciders on the market. What do you think that makes Bantam different from the other ciders?
What I think makes Bantam different is the quality of the final product. It's very crisp. There's some uniqueness that they make. One of them is a smoked cider, which is very unique to the market, but it's not. They don't add back apple cider to sweeten up the final product. It's nice, dry, and crisp. It makes you want another drink.
And where is it available if people are interested? They want to
Throughout Massachusetts.
So throughout Massachusetts, Bantam cider. I think we need to try a taste, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I hate to drink while I'm working. Just hate it.
Wow, you got a heck of a job, my friend.
I know. Best job in the world.
All right, so this is the crisp cider.
Okay. Oh, that's really good.
And this,
Not too sweet?
no, right? It
Yeah.
finishes very, very nicely. And this is the smoky cider.
Okay.
Which is very unique. You won't find that anywhere else on the market.
Smoky cider? Wow.
Isn't that nice?
It's really smooth.
Right?
Cheers, everybody. Well, we're going to go back to Pam Fletcher with more coverage of the Blues and Brews. Stay tuned.
Thanks, George. I'm with the boys from the Abandoned Building Company, and we are talking more beers at Blues and Brews. I'm with Paul and Brian. And Paul, how did you get into crafting these brews?
Oh, I've been brewing for over a decade now, and I just moved out to East Hampton, met up with Matt, and loved what he was doing. He has a really nice Belgian project going, lots of Belgian beers, which is something I've always loved.
Now, is this your brewing outfit?
On a really hot, humid day, yeah, most definitely.
Well, it certainly caught my attention. Brian, explain what goes into some of these brews that we're drinking, and what am I looking at right now?
Right now, you're looking at our Lola Saison. It's a Belgian farmhouse style ale, so you're gonna get some nice clove esters in the nose, a little dried fruit in the mouth, and a little spice to it. It's only 5%. It's a really nice summer drinkable ale.
So, summer drinkable? Oh, tastes like summer. It really does. Paul, explain what you have in your hand.
I also have the Lola Saison.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So, but you have another one too as well.
We do. Brian's drinking the Hydra Pale Ale, which is our rotating hop pale ale. So sometimes we want to figure out how a new hop's going to taste. So we put it in that one. We keep the malt bill the same, and then we change up the hops and let it be what it's going to be.
Now, how important for those that love hoppy ales and hoppy brews, how important is it to master, how much you put in, how much you take away?
It's definitely very important on how much you put in. You can definitely over hop and use too much hops, and you get to a point where you're just wasting money on hops. But hops are great.
Well, I'm pretty hoppy all the time.
Nice. Me too.
Well played.
Brian, so how long have you been with this company?
So I've been with the brewery just over 2 years. I was actually an IT manager for a small insurance company back home, and I came in completely green. Matt and Paul taught me everything I'm doing now, and it's a learning process. Every day is different. I learn something new, and it's fantastic. I couldn't be happier.
And Paul, what does it feel like to be a part of this Brews and Blues?
Oh, this is a great festival.
Are you a blues fan?
Love blues, love barbecue, and love beer. And those three, they just go together so great.
And do you find that people are very interested in what you guys do with your company?
Oh, they very much are. And we get to talk to a lot of people here, and just love talking with the people and spreading the Abandoned Building name.
Well, I am very happy to have met the boys from Abandoned Building Brewing Company. Cheers. But so how do you come up with some of these crafted brews? And can you tell me a little bit about what they're like?
That's all our owner,
Okay.
Greg. So he comes up with just a flavor of beer that he would like to try. And,
Now, are they a hoppy tasting beer, or are they how would you describe them?
The Clementine is actually, it's like a wheat beer, so it's not as hoppy. Baked Goods, that's a hoppy pale ale. Then we have Barista, which is a brown ale with coffee in it.
Wow, coffee. I like those that have the coffee in them. They have a really smooth kind of a finish to them.
Yes.
It's smooth. Now, since you're a circus performer, what do you do in the circus?
I'm a contortionist.
Can we have a little demonstration? Just one, maybe? Come on, I know you can do it.
I'm going to do the leg thing.
Okay, cool. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Not only does she have talented in the brews that they produce here at Clown Shoes, but my gosh, a pleasure to meet you, Dorothy.
Why, thank you. I'm going to throw in that I'm with Dr. Bones Circus of Marvels is the name of the circus.
Awesome. Check her out.
We are here at the Blues and Brews at Nashoba Valley Ski Area in Westford with John Kamen of, it's called Bent Water Brewery.
Yes.
So tell us about, what am I holding in my hand here?
So you're holding our flagship IPA Thunderfunk, 6 hops, 3 malts, 7.2%, really nice citrusy IPA.
And why do people gravitating towards, like, craft brews versus, what people were used to, like, maybe 20 years ago?
I think it's a shift towards, supporting local business and just, supporting your local community and steps like that.
And John, where are you guys based out of?
We're based out of Lynn, so just on the North Shore.
You know what's great? We've talked to so many breweries, and I didn't realize, like, how many are just right here in Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah, new breweries every day opening up, all sorts of good stuff happening.
And what's it like just being here a part of this event? It's for the Westford Rotary Foundation to benefit various charities, and just having you guys be a part of this.
Oh, yeah, great charity, fundraising, Rotary Club's awesome. Very happy to be here today.
Excellent. If people want more information about Bent Water Brewery, where can they find that?
You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Bentwater Brewing, and our website's bentwaterbrewing.com.
Well, I think we should try a taste, don't you?
Oh, definitely.
All right, so I'm going to have you surprise me. What should we try?
We'll go with the Thunderfunk.
All right, all right, cool. Thunderfunk, everybody. Thunderfunk. Not to be confused with Alaska from Drag Race, because she has a different type of name. Cheers, John. We're having a great time at the Blues and Brews at Nashoba Valley Ski Area in Westford. You might not know that this event benefits the Westford Charity Foundations, and we're here with Nicole Hamil, the president of the Westford Rotary. Tell us about some of the charities that are benefiting from the concert today.
So the event today has 3 major charities. The 3 of them are the Road and Bush Community Center, one is the Merrimack Valley Food Bank, and the last one is Ironstone Farm. Each charity does a few different things. So the Road and Bush is a charity located in Westford that does a lot of different things with children, running programs. They do gymnastics, after-school programs, basically a lot of different programs that benefit the community in general. And then the Merrimack Valley Food Bank is one of the major food banks in like the Massachusetts area that funds, feeding homeless shelters, different food pantries around Massachusetts. And then the last one is Ironstone Farm, and Ironstone works with veterans. They work with young teens at risk. They work with children of special needs and teach them how to run a farm, kind of how to care for horses, how to ride horses. And in that way, they've been able to help kids who never were able to walk before walk again. So it's really awesome, the 3 charities that we're doing this for, as well as, some of the money does go to different scholarships for students to go to college and various projects that we do throughout the year.
What I think is great, too, is the price of the ticket goes to some of these great charities. And you're working with the Nashoba Valley Ski Area. What is it like working with them on this event? Because I know it takes you guys like a year to do it.
Yeah, this event ends and we start planning the next year. Nashoba's been really awesome working with us. They offer a bunch of people to help with the trash cleanup, as well as we work with them. They're like, as soon as we want to meet with them, they're like, come in, we'll meet with you. We have discussions, and we have great open dialogue with them, and whatever we need, they're there to help for.
Well, Nicole, we all all want to just thank you for helping the community. And if people want more information, what is the website?
So you can go to westfordrotary.org. Also, you can just Google Westford Rotary or Rotary International, and you'll find all about Rotary in general.
So remember, that's westfordrotary.org. We're going to have more footage of the Blues and Brews Festival at Nashoba Valley Ski Area in Westford. Stay tuned.
John McKinnon, and John, you're the band booking agent for this entire operation here at Blues and Brews. And how many years? Yeah, how many years?
15 years.
Wow. Yeah. And what is it like to go through this process? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would like to play here.
Right, yeah, the process actually is probably going to start next week, for next year.
Really?
Yeah.
For next year?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
What I'll do is I'll create a short list of probably like 10 bands for the first and second slot for each day for next year. And then we just, I get CDs and contacted through Facebook all throughout the year.
Now, what is this blues community like?
Oh, it's very, very tight-knit. It's everybody knows each other. There's a lot of bands. It's actually going to be Victor Wainwright is playing at the end of the day, and Gracie Curran, who's on stage, going to get up on stage with him. So it's a very tight-knit community. Everybody knows everybody, and it's like a big family.
Well, when you look around, you know, in the field and here at the ski area at Nashoba Valley, and all the people are just chilling, hanging out, trying the brews,
all about.
And this music is incredible.
Right, and that's what it's all about. And there'll be a lot of people here that'll come. They want to see one primary band, but they'll so-called discover a band that they've never seen before, and that's what festivals are all about. And they'll become a fan of a new band that maybe been playing already for 10 or 20 years, but this is the first time they've seen it.
Well, Nashoba Valley Ski Area has been very excited to be a part of this, and through this festival myself, I have seen bands that I've never heard of before that are just so fun and energetic.
Right. And like Heather Gillis is playing next. She's a fairly new artist. She's out of Florida, so she came up to play the festival. And Gracie Curran's from Memphis now, but originally from Boston. And Victor Wainwright is also from Florida, so they're all from all over the country, but they all know each other.
And it's a nice mix, too. I like the way that you space them out, and now it's a 2-day festival. How does that play into your production?
Right, well, what I try to do is I play off of what happened the previous year. If we have a real good year of a certain type of headliner, that sometimes can influence the second year. And one year, a lot of times, tends to be guitar heavy, kind of like yesterday. And then today is going to be a little bit more dancing, where you got a Gracie Curran, and then Victor Wainwright is very much, he's a high-energy piano player. He'll get people up and dancing, plays with the crowd real well. So it's splitting the days, almost making the days a little bit different, but then filling the lineup properly so everything works. But things are a little bit different within each band to keep it interesting. So it's not 4 of the same bands up there today, but the theme is more of a dance thing today, and yesterday was more of a rocker, as you can tell from yesterday.
And you know, he's almost an artist himself because he has to balance this all out, so it sounds cool.
Well, and it's a budget. It's a budget too. You don't want to be putting all your money necessarily into a headliner each day and then just filling a lineup. So it's balancing that. Victor Wainwright actually was confirmed last year. He just couldn't play because the logistics wouldn't work out. He couldn't get here in time. So we held him over for this year, which was great.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
well, we certainly appreciate you being out here. And if you've never been to Blues and Brews at Nashoba Valley Ski Area,
you should be here.
You should be here. You should get down here. And they'll be here next year for the 17th annual Blues and Brews.
Cool, great.
I'm with Gracie Curran with the Gracie Curran and the High Flutin' Band.
Yes.
How did you get that name?
You know, we were trying to come up with a name for the band, and I was like, you know, if only I could think of a name for my highfalutin band, and then it was like, oh, that's it. So it's been that ever since, and about 7 years now we've been the highfalutin band. Yeah.
Well, you have an incredible sound. So how did you find your special niche and your musicians that play along with you? They're very talented.
I'm very lucky. You know, I started singing with my mom in church every Sunday. She was the choir director, and my dad was a bouncer at Burke's in Boston. In downtown Boston, so he used to see all these blues bands come through Burke's, and I just heard a lot about music growing up, and so I've been with Jeff there that played with me today for 10 years now. And 2007 is when we really started playing together. 2010 is when we started the band. So it's nice to come home and play with the guys that are the reason why I'm here. So we've been in Memphis for 3 years, and it's been great. We've been touring, and it's good to come home. It's good to come home.
There's nothing better than coming home, right?
Nothing better than coming home.
Massachusetts, right here in the Nashoba Valley Ski Area for the Blues and Brews. Gracie, it's a pleasure to meet you. And I really love that. What is it about the blues community that's so welcoming?
We had a lot of support, especially from the Boston Blues Society, coming up. And I had, people like Shirley Lewis and Tony Lynn Washington that, would send me, do this, and listen to this, you got to hear the Shirelles, and you got to hear, and I'm so lucky that we have such an amazing Boston Blues community. Mark Early was walking around here. He's going to be playing with Victor. And I was lucky enough to have the Room Full of Blues guys on my first album, and that's how supportive they are. That's one of the first bands I sat in with was the Room Full of Blues, and it's because they're from here in Boston and they support the community, and they've been so good to me. So it's really nice to be able to come back and see them now that we're on the road, So we're very lucky. It really wouldn't happen without this amazing, blues community. We've been so lucky.
And if you haven't heard the Gracie Kern and the High Fluting Band, you better go out and get yourself some of that.
I hope so, yeah. Also, keep in mind, if you friend request me on Facebook, my mother is going to friend request you as well. That's her new hobby. Yeah, we'll see you. But we'll see you there.
You're a hot ticket.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having us.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we had a great time here at the Blues and Brews at Nashoba Valley Ski Area in Westford. And Pam, how do you just want to wrap this up?
Well, every year it's more and more fun. And if you've never been to Blues and Brews, boy, it's something to experience. I think that probably the highlights for me are the different bands that I'd never heard of that blew my mind over the course of the 2-day weekend. And trying some of these incredible brews that, they're brand new to all of us, and I think that's the biggest part of this experience is it's a discovery. You learn and discover new things, whether it's music or whether it's something to hit your taste buds just that way.
So as soon as this is over, they're going to be planning the 17th annual Blues and Brews. If you want more information, visit skinashoba.com, also the westfordrotary.org. If you have a show idea, maybe you want to come out and be a volunteer at the Blues and Brews next year, drop us a line at ActonTV.org. I'm George Cox for Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next time.
We hope so. Here we go. Whoa! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Petrovice?
Yeah.
Petrovice, right?
Yeah.
Petrovice. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.